Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly crush their goals, while others struggle year after year to get ahead? Imagine waking up every single day feeling unstoppable, like you're finally in control of your life. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, what if I told you that one book has the power to transform you from someone constantly fighting distractions to someone with laser-focused self-discipline? This book is called The Science of Self-Discipline by Peter Hollins, and today I'm going to show you how it completely transformed Jack's life and how it can change yours too. Welcome to Book Play, the channel where we bring the life-changing power of books straight to you. If you're ready to unlock your full potential and build habits that set you up for success, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Let's meet Jack. Jack is 25 years old, a bit like many of us at that age, full of ideas, ambitions, and dreams, but no matter how hard he tried, nothing seemed to stick. He was stuck in a loop of endless distractions, half-finished projects, and the constant cycle of, "I'll start tomorrow." Does this sound familiar? You know the drill. Wake up late, hit the snooze button, scroll through social media for an hour, and somehow the whole day is gone before you've done anything productive. The next day, you promise yourself you'll be different. Yet here we are, again. This is exactly where Jack found himself. He was constantly battling procrastination, and despite his best intentions, nothing seemed to change. Every new year, Jack would set huge goals. This year, I'm going to start my own business, or I'll lose 20 pounds by summer. But months would go by, and he'd find himself in the same place, watching Netflix while scrolling through Instagram, wondering where all his time had gone. One day, Jack was scrolling through a forum where someone posted about a book that could change everything. The Science of Self-Discipline by Peter Hollins. Jack had heard of self-discipline, of course, but had never really understood it. He thought it was just something that some people had, and he didn't. But curiosity sparked, and he decided to give it a shot. Little did he know, this book would completely alter his mindset and his life. As Jack dove into the pages of The Science of Self-Discipline, something clicked. For the first time, Jack realized that self-discipline wasn't a trait you were born with. It was a skill you could learn. It wasn't about forcing yourself to be perfect. It was about understanding your mind and how to master it. Jack's first realization came from the fact that self-discipline is a muscle. Just like any muscle, it needs to be exercised and trained. The problem was that Jack had been expecting results from sheer willpower, thinking that he should be able to muscle through everything. But that's not how self-discipline works. He started to think about it differently. Rather than setting vague, intimidating goals, he would break them down into small, manageable steps. Instead of planning to work for 10 hours straight, Jack set a timer for 15 minutes of focused work and then took a break. Sounds simple, right? But in those 15 minutes, Jack was laser-focused. And guess what? It worked. Takeaway number 1. Self-discipline is a muscle. The first key lesson that Jack learned from Peter Hollins is that self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. If you try to run a marathon on your first day of training, you'll burn out fast. But if you start with a jog, then gradually increase your distance over time, you'll build strength, stamina, and endurance. Jack started small. He wasn't going to suddenly run a marathon or work on his side hustle for 12 hours straight. Instead, he committed to 15-minute bursts of productivity. He made himself a promise. Every day, no matter how distracted he felt, he would do something productive for just 15 minutes. And guess what? That small effort added up. Within a few weeks, Jack had built a daily habit of productivity. Those 15 minutes turned into 30, then an hour, and before he knew it, he was knocking out tasks that had been sitting on his to-do list for months. Takeaway number 2, embrace boredom and discomfort. The second lesson Jack learned was probably the hardest for him. Embrace boredom and discomfort. Now, this one's a game changer. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. This is how we're wired as humans. But if we constantly follow the path of least resistance, we'll never grow. Jack realized that his entire life had been about avoiding discomfort. When he didn't feel like working out, he'd make excuses. When he didn't feel like writing that article, he'd get distracted. But Peter Hollins reminded him, growth doesn't happen in comfort. To build self-discipline, Jack had to learn how to lean into discomfort, even when it felt unbearable. So Jack embraced the boredom of doing the work, even when it didn't feel exciting. He learned that true growth came when he pushed through the discomfort. Whether it was waking up early to work on his business, or sitting down to write without distractions, Jack learned that success wasn't about waiting for motivation. It was about doing it anyway. Takeaway number 3, build systems, not willpower. Now, this one hit Jack hard. Build systems, not willpower. Willpower is finite. It's like a battery that drains the more you use it. The problem with relying solely on willpower is that eventually you'll run out. And that's when you give in to distractions, procrastination, and bad habits. Jack had been trying to rely on willpower alone for years, and it never worked. But after reading The Science of Self-Discipline, he understood that he needed to build systems to ensure his success, not just rely on a fleeting burst of willpower. So Jack created systems. He set up his workspace the night before, so when he woke up, he didn't have to waste energy thinking about where to start. He blocked out time for work, for exercise, and for leisure. He built his day around systems that made success easy to follow. No more relying on, "I'll just try harder." It was about eliminating the friction in his daily routine. Takeaway number 4, avoid temptation. Like the plague. Now, I know we've all been there. You're working on something important, but then, bing, you get a notification, and suddenly, you're deep in a TikTok rabbit hole for hours. Jack was no exception. He realized that his environment was sabotaging his success. One of the most profound lessons in the science of self-discipline was that you need to actively remove distractions from your life. If you can't avoid temptation, at least make it hard to access. So Jack started leaving his phone in another room while he worked. He moved his TV out of sight, and he blocked distracting websites during work hours. By making distractions inconvenient, Jack found himself staying focused for longer periods of time. And when he faced temptation, he would remember. It's not about willpower, it's about the environment you create for yourself. Takeaway number 5. Self-compassion is crucial. Jack's journey wasn't perfect. He fell off track multiple times, whether it was skipping a workout or eating junk food when he had planned to eat healthy. But one of the most important lessons Jack learned was to practice self-compassion. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. Peter Hollins emphasizes this. If you slip up, don't beat yourself up. Acknowledge your mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. Jack realized that every time he failed, he could either let it define him or use it as a lesson to improve. Instead of letting guilt control him, Jack forgave himself and got back on track. This mindset shift was huge for him, and it allowed him to keep moving forward even when things didn't go perfectly. Takeaway number 6, the power of focused, consistent action. The final lesson Jack learned was simple. Success doesn't come from a single burst of effort. It comes from consistent, focused action over time. This was the real magic Jack had been missing. Jack realized that his biggest mistake had been waiting for the perfect moment to start. But Peter Hollins showed him that the perfect moment never arrives. The key to achieving any goal is showing up every day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. Jack stopped waiting for motivation to strike. Instead, he made a habit of showing up every day, no matter how he felt. And over time, this consistency built momentum, and momentum led to success. So Jack's transformation wasn't a miracle. It was the result of small, consistent actions that compounded over time. By building self-discipline like a muscle, embracing discomfort, removing temptations, practicing self-compassion, and committing to consistent action, Jack was able to turn his life around. And guess what? You can do the same. But here's the hard truth. Nothing changes unless you take action. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you'll keep waiting forever. The time to start building self-discipline is now. You've got this. What's one area of your life where you're ready to start applying these lessons? Drop a comment below and let me know how you're going to build your self-discipline starting today. And if you're serious about leveling up, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more life-changing book summaries right here on Book Play. Your best self is just a few decisions away. Let's make it happen.